Greetings and welcome. My name is Jake Grayson. I am a forest gardener and a forest garden designer. Me talking about the politics of forest gardening, dramatic music. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, buttons and things. So I'm now in the forest garden. The garden is it's a really good allegory for politics, for most things actually, because it's a construct, and it's something that has been made, and the idea is there's lots of different ideas in there about nurturing plants and getting plants to be healthy and to grow and to get a balance in the garden. So everything is kind of working as a whole, working as a system, and I think it's a very good allegory for a range of other systems as well. So social, political, economic systems. That you want something which is healthy, you want something that is robust and provides for the whole system. Can you imagine a socio-economic political system that provides for everybody, not just a few people? So I think the forest garden as well is a deeper allegory. I changed the name of my business to Nature Works, firstly because I'm doing work outside of Wales. Forest Garden Wales is it's just a bit of a name because I couldn't think of anything else. Whereas Nature Works is far more not profound, but it's far more relevant really because it's about working with nature. The subtitle of Martin Crawford's book, Creating a Forest Garden, Working with Nature to Grow Edible Crops, and it is that working with nature part which is really kind of really important. And it's that is a central kind of idea. So in light of the kind of climate and ecological and climate emergency, the core idea that I think is really the core idea that you can take from forest gardening and apply it to a load of different systems is the idea of sustainability. It can look after itself once you've got a forest garden up and running, and it takes time and resources and a determination to do it, but once it's up and running, then it kind of pretty much doesn't look after itself, but it's in balance. So there's less maintenance, it's a low maintenance and a very low input. I'm still importing, I've brought in some compost. I don't have enough compost for the perennial veg beds and the soil's not too good, so I brought some in, and I brought in some bark, and I brought in some wood chip, and this is in the kind of setting up stages. But once it's set up, then the inputs are very low, kind of minimal, and that's that's kind of interesting in terms of other systems as well. If you look at global capitalism, it's it's exploitative in that the problem is the basic problem in crude physical terms is that we're burning too much stuff and creating gases that are warming up the atmosphere, and we need to stop burning stuff, and that's essentially it. That's what we're kind of driving at, and this is something that applies to all different areas. The question you have to ask yourself, and I kind of find this with the stuff that I do as well, is can we go on like this? And that's ask that question about yourself, about your lifestyle and how you live, and the things that you consume, the things that you do, just how you live, and what you spend your time and your time and your money on, and can it continue? And the answer really is, well, no. I mean, what we have to do is to kind of build alternatives. So yes, we can't go on like we are, because there is a climate emergency at the moment. Witness the Arizona, is it Arizona? No, Southern California. There's been a massive drought right the first day of summer. There's a drought, and there's very high temperatures, and there's wildfires in West America. I think up to Oregon as well, and California. just one example. Look at the weather patterns wherever you are in the world. So we can't go on like this. If we do go on we can go on like this. If we go on like this, then it will get worse. So what we're going to really need to be looking at is there's kind of two goals, and there's doing what you can do for the climate emergency. And you can get very depressed about it. Oh no, I can't do anything. You can do something. You can do something about the ecological emergency. You can do it this afternoon. You could plant a native plant, or plant a hedge, or grow some of your own food. There is a lot that you can do, and there's a lot you can do on different levels. And there's two things that we're looking at doing. Firstly is to reduce and they're mutually supportive. The first thing is that we want to reduce greenhouse gases. That's kind of number one, reduce greenhouse gases. And how do you do that? From an individual point of view, there's three things that you can do. Firstly, you can that makes the biggest impact is to go vegan. That is, it's easier said than done, but that is a single, you call it plant-based diet, if that makes you happier. Second thing you can do is to stop flying, and that's on an individual level. Those two things have the biggest impact. And the third thing is to get involved, and on whatever level that is. I gave a talk to the Flintshire for a Green New Deal, Labour for a Green New Deal group up in North Wales, and it's kind of really interesting. It was really good. I really enjoyed it last week. So thank you, Lynn, for that. And there's an answer at the end, which was, what do you think are the most important policy questions that we need to get answered? What's the kind of most important thing that we need to do? And really, it's on all levels. It is as simple. It's as simple and as complicated as reduce greenhouse gases and create resilience in our in the services and the things that we do. So I don't know. I'll come on to that in a second. So, and that's action on all levels. So it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter what you do for a job, what you do for a living, or what you're interested in. It feeds in this. There is something that you can do in that niche, in that area. So you can do it on different levels as well. So there's like the UK government, the national government, the council level, and there's the local level. They're called community councils. Got wood pigeons over there, I think, or squirrels. I got there, and the community councils. A community council is the equivalent of a parish council in England. I'm not sure what they have in Scotland. So there's different levels of government, or you can be working for a charity, or contribute to a charity, or or getting involved in a local permaculture group, or there's a whole range of different things that you can do. And then there's the actual services. So I am going to I'll come to that in a second. The different services, I call them services, but it's kind of really, really basic stuff. What we're actually living in at the moment is a highly international, multinational food systems and political systems and energy systems, and they are quite fragile. It won't take a great deal. If you can just imagine the oil supply. Most houses, we've still got oil, can't afford to get solar power, and it doesn't take much for the supply of oil to be disrupted, or the supply of gas to be disrupted, and we've got to stop using gas, and we've got to so what is the alternatives to that? So all these systems are kind of multinational systems, and we need to look at making them more resilient. So the systems are like make a list: food, shelter, power, water, connectivity, transport, waste. And there needs to be some joined up thinking about making those systems resilient so that they can withstand international shocks, and also making those systems sustainable, so that you can keep on. We can't keep on burning oil. The house that we've got here, we've got an a lot of houses in Wales have got them. We've got an oil-fired burner. We can't keep on going like it. We can't keep on using oil. We know that. But you need to make it easy for people to transition to a sustainable power supply. Yep. So on that point as well, there is a thing called the there is a thing called Green New Deal, which is a set of policies that first came about in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, and the set of policies basically are invest in renewable power, invest in creating a robust UK power network, invest in green jobs, so invest in insulating houses. There's a whole load of things that you can do. There's a kind of whole package of policies that is in place and can be rolled out tomorrow if there was a political will. So it's not like people haven't thought about this. It's not like they're it's not as if there haven't been a whole load of people saying this is what we can do. We can do it, but it does require involvement. It does require pressure to get those policies seen through. So on a local level, I'm going to go and talk to the community council. Now, to be honest, they haven't been the best at communication. I've asked them, who the members are, how many members. There's 13 members on the community council, but what the names are, what the different posts are, what the funding is, what is the budget for the community council, where all past budgets should be published, all the minutes should be published, and an awful lot of this information is missing. Can the public attend the meetings? Yes, you have a legal right to attend community council meetings. You don't have it's not a public meeting, that you don't have equal rights in that meeting, but you have a legal right to attend. I'm going to email the clerk again today. I've got a list of an increasing list of about 20 different questions, which she's failed to answer. I haven't had a reply back from her. So I'm going to email her again today, and then I will, if I don't get anything, I'm going to actually turn up at the meeting next week. But it shouldn't be this difficult. They should be encouraging people to get involved. And my whole thing for the local council, for the local community council, is that there is an awful lot of land around the place, small pockets of land by housing in villages, in towns, and to actually plant trees basically and create wildlife reserves. So you're doing two things. You're kind of you're planting food, and you're also creating habitat for wildlife. Those are kind of two things you're doing, which is kind of the essence of forest gardening. So that's going to be kind of interesting to go along and give a meeting. I've got to give a talk at a meeting on the 26th of July. And what they do have is they have access. The community council has access to the county council. It has access to the local. There'll be a local network of landowners and farmers and business owners and all sorts of things. Hello, Ron. You want to come up here? Can you come up? Yeah, it's Ron. I'll show Ron because he just appeared. This is Ronnie Barker. Whoa, forest garden dog. He doesn't know he's being live streamed. Yeah, it's very exciting, isn't it? Yes. So they have the community council has access to land. It has access to the contacts. It has a budget as well. I saw there are some old minutes. The community council has only met once last month, and they haven't got Zoom meetings. There's no minutes for the past 2 years. There's no sign of any budget. But I did see a figure of the bank account balance was about £14,000. So there is money there. So I think it's kind of important that that people know what's there. And my idea is, you go to a housing estate. There's a couple down there's a local village called Kennough, for example, which I drive past most days. And there is some patches of land, and there is there's a few houses, a half a dozen houses, and it's a little kind of cul-de-sac. a patch of land, it's got grass on it, that's it. You could get, I don't know, 3 apple trees or fruit trees on there, or fruit bushes, ground cover, really simple, and involve the people in the process and say, we'll do this, and then show you how to look after it. So show you pruning and show you how to weed, what to weed, and then just let the plants grow, and then it's your harvest, so you look after it, but just kind of keep that ticking over, and do that in lots of different areas. So it's like what I'm doing with the local school, with the local primary school, creating them a forest garden. That'll be linked in to the curriculum, but it's the same idea, is that it's the school and the children who will be doing the maintenance. I won't be doing the maintenance, it will be them, but I'll be setting it up, helping them set it up, and then showing them how to do it. So and this kind of ties into my broader plan of a 1,000 acre forest garden, which is in 30 years time, when we more than likely hit, I don't know, 3 degrees Celsius, which will be twice it. I think we're very close to 1.5 degrees Celsius now in terms of global temperatures, and the weather systems have been very, very badly disrupted. Where will we be? We have it's just going to be, what would you want to see in that situation? And people will say, oh, it isn't going to happen, but every single scientific sign is saying that this will happen. So what do we want? Trees, when do we want them? We want to plant them now, so that they'll be there in 30 years time or 20 years time when they're needed. And trees for edible crops. There we go. Anyway, right then, so that's me all done. Meeting 26th of July. Yes, I've got the meetings end of next month. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I will let you know how it goes. My main question is to see what people think. I really believe, because the national media has not been very good at the national media hasn't been very good at talking about climate emergency. It's just not okay. I listened to the news on the BBC Radio 4 this morning. No mention, absolutely no mention of the heat wave in California, or the forest fires, or like unseasonal temperatures. Absolutely no mention of it whatsoever, and it's about football. That's about it, really. You're thinking. There we go. So let us not forget that also that the COVID is part of the climate emergency. It's the relationship between humans and nature, and the transmission of diseases. So here we go.